everyone, so it's Nicole and I'm back from Nicole's Nook. First things first, I am going to be doing a hair tutorial today, but I wanted to just clarify a couple of things. Number one, sorry if I sound a little nasal more than normal. I am sick, I just have a little cold, so I'm sorry about that. If I sound a little nasal in my next couple of videos, I'm just getting over the cold and trying to, get back to normal with this. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to apologize for my first couple of videos, the audio issues. I tried fixing them for hours and for some reason everything sounded clear and perfectly fine on my end, so when I uploaded them I thought they were going to sound perfect on everyone's end, but for some reason it just didn't work out that way, and I have finally figured out a good way, and now I know that the audio is good and I have a camera that has great quality, and I'm very excited for that. So now we're going to get on into what I'm actually doing today. So like I said, I am going to be doing a hair tutorial, and this is the first one I'm going to be doing for Nicole's Nook, so I'm kind of excited about that. But as you can see, my hair kind of looks a little frizzy, not really curly, not really straight. There's a reason for that. I took a Boar's bristle brush, which just looks like this. It kind of has like these really spiny looking natural fiber brush hairs. This brush is really good for my hair because it is so thick and curly. Although, like I said, I just brushed my hair out first. And now I'm just going to be using a heat protectant. This is the Ever Straight Brazilian Keratin Therapy Flat Iron Spray by Organics, and you can pretty much get this at any store that sells hair products for the most part. I don't know, I think they definitely have this all over. So this is just good to protect your ends and make sure you don't get tons of split ends because we are going to be using heat. I am using a clipless curling iron. I don't like to do it past probably right where my collarbone is, just because if you go higher up and you go towards your roots, then it tends to get kind of limp and flat, and then you also get greasiness. And I said make sure that you use the heat protectant. It's up to you whether or not you want to put it on your whole head, but like I said, I pretty much just put it on the ends. I'm just going to take this and kind of gather all my hair, and then I just kind of rub it through, especially on the ends. And you can use any heat protectant that you like. I know they say Chi Iron Guard is good and stuff like that, but this is the one I use. So now that it's kind of through my ends, I had my curling wand heating up. I think it's wonderful that there are so many options out there that I did find something that really works for me, so I'm happy about that. It's actually called Revive Beauty. I got this at my local TJ Maxx. It was under $20. I want to say it was like between $16 and $18, and it just has like the black rod, and it was cheap and it works great for me, so I definitely am happy that I found it because I really like the look of this curl. It's a little different than other curls, but I definitely liked it. So I'm going to get started and we will see how it turns out. So I just take my hair and then split it down the center and have like a part in the back, so I have basically like two sides. And sometimes I will curl it with different sections, like by pulling it up, but for this tutorial I'm just going to do it by the right side and the left. So now I like to start from the back, so I'm just going to take about like a 1-inch section and pull it to the side, and then I'm going to take the curling wand, put it behind my head, wrap it around, and then hold it. Now with the curling iron, as opposed to the curling wand, the curling wand that I'm using right now, or any curling wand, you just have to be careful to make sure that you hold it far enough away from the actual rod, because you definitely will burn your fingers. So if you're not used to doing it, then you can definitely use a glove that they usually come with it, but I'm used to it by now and I just leave a little tip out. Now you're going to want to leave your hair on the barrel or the rod until it's warm. Like I said, if you have thicker hair, you're going to want to leave it longer and make it hotter, basically like a nice spiral. So now I'm just going to take that and put that in the back and repeat the same thing. I usually go behind my head and then just wrap and hold it. These come off of the rod. You want to make sure you don't really touch them or like pull them apart. I know they look very springy, but you want to leave them until they're fully cooled. That way we make sure that you're going to have the curls last as long as they possibly can. So this is off. Like I said, depending on the size that you pick will depend how big the curl is. So if you want larger pieces, then you can definitely pull larger pieces if you want to have a little bit more of a loose curl. But I definitely like my curls to start out pretty tight. That way I kind of loosen them up as I please. So usually I'll count between 10 and like 30 seconds. If it's starting to get hot, you can definitely let it go. So now I'm holding it, and when I let it go, I just drop it. And as you can see, it's pretty tight, so I'm just going to put that in the back. Hairstyle usually takes about 10 minutes. It depends how much hair you have, how long it is, but I definitely think this works because you can do this for an everyday look, or you can do this for more, you know, fancy occasions. But so now I'm just going to be taking pieces and just wrapping. This hairstyle will definitely last throughout the day, but like I said, these definitely, even sleeping on them, these definitely really last. And I think it's just the texture that you get from it is a lot bouncier. Now if you want and you have the time, but I am doing this as a pretty, you know, fast look, that's why I'm kind of skipping this step. But if you guys really want to have a nice look that you can have and that could probably last 2 full days, what you would do is when this comes off, you're going to then take the piece of hair and then just like recoil it up towards your head while it's still hot, pin it with a bobby pin and leave it there. So then all of your pieces are going to be on your head, pinned there. And then once you're all done and your hair is cool, you're going to then spray it and then release those once they're cool and then spray it again. So they kind of have a little extra time to set up. But like I said, I can definitely do on another day that I can show you with the pinned up curls, because that's definitely a little bit longer lasting. Alright, so I am done with the left side of my head, and I'm going to now put those in the back, and I am going to get started on my other side so that way I can style them how I want. Just behind my head. These curls are great if you want to just, you know, kind of tousle them, and you can kind of brush them out if you want to kind of give just a nice wave and like a beachy texture. So there's really a lot of options that you can use with the curling one. So that's kind of why I like to use it, just because this is a 1-inch barrel, by the way. You can't really control the size of the curl, but if you put more hair on it, you can control kind of how big the curl is going to wind up. And I'm just taking them, like I said, in about 1-inch sections. And this specific curling iron doesn't have a specific heat setting. I know that I have a Conair one. That one has different heat settings. So if you have thicker hair, you're going to want to put it on one of the highest, if not the highest heat setting, just so you can get it all curled. But me, I feel as though it's definitely hot. If you can go with the least heat, I would definitely go with the lowest amount of heat as possible so you don't fry up your ends. But you know, you definitely want to make sure that it's done quick. And I always try to heat up my curling wand about 10 to 15 minutes prior to doing it, even though some of them say it's about 30 to 60 seconds. I like my iron to be very hot. That way, once I get started, I can kind of finish it all at once. So now I'm just taking this front piece where my angles are and kind of curling it back. Make sure you always curl them back. Curl them towards your face, then you have not as much volume and they come out a lot different. So now I just have my last piece. Anything, I'm going to just take a hairspray, and like I said, because I have a lot of allergies, I've been using this Magick Botanicals fragrance-free hairspray, and it's not too expensive. It is in a mist, it's not an aerosol, but it's about $9–10. So you know, there's some products that you can get at Target that are just as expensive, and if you have a fragrance issue, then this is definitely good for you. So actually, I just noticed that these couple pieces over here need to just be touched up. And once you do your hair, if you notice there's a couple pieces that need to be fixed, go right ahead and just go back in and fix those. And even after I'm done styling, if I notice I have a couple of stray hairs that are just flying, like this one, then I just go back in and curl it. What I'm going to do is just spray my hair. Okay, so now that it's sprayed, what I like to do is basically get volume from my roots. So what I'm going to do is just take my hands, push it like up by my ears, and just kind of shake it out. So I'm going to go like that and go on the top. Some people like to flip their head over. Sometimes I'll do that, but it's not really necessary. You kind of just take your nails and like scratch it at the roots. And that way it kind of like loosens up the curl without touching the actual curl. You're basically doing it from the root. Taking out my hair, and this is what you're left with. Right now my hair is deciding to be in the middle part. If I want, I can make it go into more of a left part. I can make it go more into a right/middle part, but it looks like my hair wants to be in the middle today. So what I'm going to do is take my hair and just spray. And once my hair is sprayed, what I'm going to do is just take a teasing comb. I personally like a lot of volume, especially by my roots. So I'm going to tease. Now, I just take this front piece, and then I just take my hairspray. You're going to lift it up, take the hairspray, and just spray one little squirt in the back. Now you're going to back comb. So you're going to take your teasing comb and go like this and just push the hair down. And yes, this is, I know, see how it's crazy, but we're going to fix that. So now I'm going to take the other side. And this step is completely optional. If you like your hair more flat and loose, then that's perfectly fine. But I happen to just like teasing it. I like to just kind of loosen it up. I'm now going to take the crown of my head. So I'm just going to take my thumbs and get that crown piece in the back. As you can see, this piece is a little larger, so I'm going to take a little more hairspray, and then I'm going to back comb that. And now we're done. So this is pretty much it. I have my hair teased. I have it basically placed wherever I want it to be. And now I'm just going to put the final spray. That way it kind of locks in on my teasing. And like I said, that final step is completely optional, but I just think it definitely lasts a lot longer. So here is my first hair tutorial for Nicole's Nook, and I feel like it looks really pretty. So if you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.